Former top military attache Alfred Keating has been found guilty of trying to film his colleagues in a New Zealand embassy bathroom. Mr Keating was New Zealand's top Defence Force official in the United States when a covert camera was found in the unisex bathroom in the embassy in Washington DC. Our court reporter Anneke Smith was in court for the verdict at the Auckland District Court today, and she joins me now in the studio. Anneke, how did things unfold this morning?
Well, after a 2-week trial and 4.5 hours of deliberations, the jury returned with a unanimous guilty verdict around the middle of this afternoon. Now, Alfred Keating stood emotionless in the dock as the verdict was read out. It was a very brief appearance, and he'll be sentenced in June.
Remind us the backstory to this, the case against him.
Yeah, so there was no silver bullet in this case. It was the totality of the evidence that secured this conviction. The jury heard a number of different strands of evidence, the first being the DNA. So there was a DNA profile that was found on the SD card, said to be 10,000 million times more likely to be Alfred Keating's than any other random New Zealanders. There was also some evidence about his personal laptop, that it had at one point been connected to a brickhouse security camera, although it was never proven that it was the camera found in the bathroom. There was also evidence that his personal laptop had Google searched brickhouse security camera modes and switches, and they also had CCTV footage and swipe card access activations, I guess, that placed him in the vicinity of the unisex bathroom that the camera was found in. So a log of his movements based on his swipe card,
yeah, in essence, yeah. And was there any indication, did you get any insight during this trial as to why he may have done this?
No, we're still in the dark about this, I think. There were 21 video files recovered on the device when it was found. Only one person was actually filmed on the toilet, and that was Mr Keating himself. After that point, the covert camera actually fell from its from its position in the heater. Now, Crown Prosecutor Henry Steele sort of speculated a little bit about this in his closing address, saying that maybe Mr Keating had sat on the toilet to set himself up as the first victim, maybe he just needed to use the bathroom himself, or maybe it was all just part of the thrill, quote unquote. So other than this, we don't really know why he did this. That part is
still a mystery. If you're watching, we're about to play a piece of video here. Now, this is after the verdict, and explain to us for the people who can't see, what's happening in this video, Anneke. We see.
So after the verdict was read out, the hearing was ended, he left the court with his partner, who's actually been present for the whole trial. And as he walked down the street, he was flanked by a number of reporters who asked him questions, asking for an explanation, whether he thought the jury had got it wrong. But the response was stone cold silence. He didn't actually say a single word to us. Now, he faces up to 18 months imprisonment for this crime, but perhaps the bigger penalty for him is the damage it's done to his otherwise stellar Defence Force career. He held an esteemed role, holding the rank of Commodore, and his appointment ended in March last year, as we know, shortly after he pleaded not guilty.
Yeah, and we should say to people who are listening, he's rather steely-faced, holding the hand of his partner, walking along, staring stoically straight ahead, not even acknowledging your presence and the presence of other reporters there. So what has the Defence Force had to say about all of this?
So the Defence Force hasn't put anyone up for an interview with us, and they actually declined to comment, saying that the matter was still before the courts, so it wouldn't be appropriate to do so. In fact, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade has put out a really brief statement, just thanking the New Zealand Police for its investigation and saying that they hope that it provides some closure to the victims in this case.
Very interesting. Thanks for joining us. That's Anneke Smith, who has sat through that trial where, one of our highest ranking military attaches was found guilty today.